Tonight, a study on the physiological effects of high-speed aeronautic maneuvers on the common news anchor. In other words, how a 40-minute flight with the Blue Angels can turn Mr. Top Gun into humble pie. Come along and you'll see how it works.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay, like I covered in the brief, when you make your way up the ladder here, this is what we call the canopy rail, where the blue is meeting the yellow.
Okay, this part, climbing the ladder, getting into the seat, I can handle. I get strapped in, connected at 9 points, helmet on, and get a few instructions from Crew Chief Ed Primo.
This is going to be your in-flight movie I showed you the picture of. We're going to see if you're a G-monster today.
A G-monster, someone who can pull a lot of positive G's, increased gravity caused by the plane changing direction at a high rate of speed.
We got a man here. He's ready.
All right.
Lieutenant Keith Hoskins, Alex is ready.
All right, you all set?
I'm set. I'm as ready as I'll ever be. A thumbs up as the canopy comes down, a little false bravado as Ed and Keith go through the final system checks. Then our little study truly begins.
Okay, we're close to takeoff. We're going to work west of the field. All right. About 20 to about 25 miles or so. Ready to go back there? I am ready to go. Okay, here we go. I'm selecting full afterburner. And I'm off the brakes. And good up PM, good EGT. Good fuel flow, good nozzles and oil. Now we're at 200. 200. Now the gear is completely up on the aircraft. Okay. We are completely clean right now. I'm ready. We're accelerating. You all set for the pull-up? Ready for the pull-up. Here we go. Ready. Hit it. Incredible.
We've only just started, and I'm already starting to sweat as we prepare for our first maneuver.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate to you that airspeed is real important to pulling G-forces. Right now we're 360 miles per hour.
This is the wing-over maneuver.
You all set back there? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Pull the nose up, and you're going to pull 2.5 Gs.
The sweat is now flowing freely.
So here we are, 45 degrees nose up, and I have the airplane completely rolled on its side now.
And 2.5 is supposed to be nothing. Oh boy. Up next, it's the loop, just like in the show, with G-forces strong enough that I have to do what they call hooking, a muscle-tensing move meant to keep your blood from all rushing to your feet, to keep you from blacking out.
Altitude. Okay, Nicole. And down the backside. Wow. All right, I like the loop. So that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad.
5.6 Gs that time. But Keith saves the best for last, a simple braking maneuver right over the airfield.
Ready.
Almost 7 Gs, and no amount of hooking can help me this time. It was lights out. But know this about the Blue Angels, they have a sense of humor.
Earth to Alex.
In the air and on the ground, a wicked sense of humor.
Nice job, Alex. All right, buddy.
I made it.
You did good. Well, you been working out? You go running while I was up there flying?
Boy.
So what have I concluded from my study? That I'm no G-monster, I just look like one.
You're going to respond until you're actually up there. Well, if you're not used to it, go ahead, it's tough. Yeah. It's a different environment.
If you're taking your time driving down old Highway 152 on your way to Mustang, an old building or two might catch your eye. Well, if curiosity gets the best of you, 90-year-old James Johnston's the man to see because he's seen it all here, and the picture he paints comes from his memories. James remembers way back when horsepower came from real horses, when the grocery store here had a hitching post. He bought that store and ran it for 27 years. A place where you didn't have to lock the door at night, and Wheatland was a place where folks certainly took care of themselves. James even remembers who named the town.
The story goes that the mail clerk on the train looked out and says, gee, this is a lot of mighty fine wheatland out there. And so they decided to name it Wheatland. And that's all I know about it. I just take it that that's the gospel.
If you lived in Wheatland way back in the day, chances are you spent the majority of your day on one of these babies cultivating your wheat crop. Say you wanted to go after hours for a little entertainment. Well, there's a couple of beer joints that used to be around here, but if you weren't a drinking man and you needed a place to go after hours and you wanted to get the lowdown on every person who lived in Wheatland, the only place to go was to hang out at a local barber shop. This sign here boasted the best barber in all of Wheatland, and if you wondered what the line was like on the inside, the sign told you, "You next." You know, today Wheatland's changed a lot, and the old grocery store is just for storage, and Father Time has made a major withdrawal at the bank. But Wheatlanders just love living here.
I'm proud to be here. I'm no hurry to leave.
In Wheatland, Gary Walker, News 9.
Welcome back. All this week, our health team has been giving you easy ways to lose weight, or at least keep from gaining weight.
The experts tell us that by eating just 100 extra calories a day, like drinking 1 soda, you'll pack on 10 extra pounds in a year. Tonight, some tips for those of us who just don't have time or interest or ability to go to the gym. Robin Marsh has some household help for us. Robin, you're working hard there.
I am, Jennifer, let me tell you. You might not thought about it, but you know what? If you vacuum the house for 30 minutes, you'll burn 100 calories. You also get a pretty good workout. Also, I can tell you tonight, here's some other ideas to get a good workout while you're around the house.
Hey, Amy. It just takes some elbow grease to work off those calories. Personalized trainer Tony Weisenberg says, be creative.
I would try and integrate more physical activity into your day, maybe not all at the same time, but sweeping the front porch or the driveway.
Other ideas around the house? Do the dishes by hand, clean out the refrigerator, or head outside to play with the kids. Also, a good scrub down of the counters or even the bathtub will help you burn 100 calories. And if you get really motivated, try washing and drying off the car. You'll burn 100 calories pretty quickly.
There has been research that has shown that 30 minutes of physical activity, even if it's intermittent throughout your day, can be a tremendous influence in your overall health.
And take a look at this. If you like to cook, stir up those egg whites really good, use your hands and arms, you'll get another good workout. You know, just really some simple things to do. The main thing is to get your heart rate up and to do it on a consistent basis. Jennifer, Kelly?
I do that because I've lost my beaters, Robin.
She's making one of her famous egg white sandwiches. She loves those things.
You're not supposed to tell my secrets.
All right, Robin. Now, we all have friends who just eat whatever they want and they don't gain an ounce.
And extra exercise can come in any form. The Mayo Clinic did a study on chewing gum. Now, that's my kind of workout. They had 7 volunteers chew gum steadily for 12 minutes and found metabolic rates went up 19%. So taking these results to their extreme, the scientists calculated that the volunteers chewed gum all day without changing their intake of food, they'd lose more than 10 pounds of body fat a year. The Mayo.
Up until about 5 years ago, really none of us had ever heard of carjacking. It sounded like the kind of thing that would happen in big cities. Back then it was, but today it's happening everywhere. Now, Kelly is at the Crime Tracker desk tonight to look at what you can do, if anything, if carjackers target you.
When you think of a carjacking, maybe you think of a driver stopped at a red light when someone sticks a gun in the window. It can happen like that, but most often it doesn't. In reality, it's even scarier.
What do you think you want to see?
Let's do maybe a comedy.
Russ, we tend to let our guard down when we get in our driveway.
Yes, we do. We're home, we're safe. In reality, though, this is a prime location for us to be victimized by people that follow us home. In this situation, it possibly could have been avoided if the woman would have just recognized that the light would have been out. I wouldn't get out of the car until you're safely inside, close the door behind you, keep your car doors locked, and only then, if you feel comfortable, get out and make your way inside.
Photojournalist Barry Levy with a frightening portrayal of that crime. Something else to think about. If you drive at night, don't pull up right behind another car at a stop sign or train tracks. Give yourself room to pull out quickly if you have to. Tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, I'll tell you what to do if you wake up and find a burglar in your house. Jen?
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Now maybe you think about this before you go to bed at night. What would I do if I awoke to an intruder in the house? It happens more often than you might think. Our Crime Tracker database shows us last year in Oklahoma City alone, burglars hit 723 times when the resident was there in the house, and 465 of those occurred at night. 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. are prime time for night-side burglars. Kelly has some tips now that might give you a little more peace of mind tonight.
Hope so, Jennifer. It is the very reason so many people keep guns in their bedside tables. An intruder at night. What would you do if you were awakened by a strange noise in your house?
But most of the time when someone breaks into a home, their objective is to get your valuables. It's to have zero contact with you. You should immediately shut the bedroom door and lock it. You should have some sort of a lock on that door. When you shut it and lock it, be sure to make a lot of noise. Let the intruder know that you're there. You should immediately pick up a phone and dial 911. Get law enforcement started. If you continue to hear noises in the house and you think that the intruder may still be there, the threat is inside. Get out of the house.
Thanks to photojournalist Barry Levy on that. Our two best tips: install a lock on your bedroom door and keep a phone by your bed, even a cell phone. And don't be afraid to make a lot of noise. Chances are they'll take off when they hear you. Jen? Yeah, Jennifer, anymore it seems people come to your door at all hours. Most are legit, but most of us couldn't tell if they weren't. They only need a small crack and then you're in big trouble.
Are you saving them for later? Yeah. Want some milk? I think I heard the doorbell. Yeah. Okay, I'll get it. Who is it?
It's Bill. I live a couple blocks away. My car's stuck in the snow. It's really cold out here. Can I come in and use your phone?
You can't come in, but I'll bring you the phone.
Once they're in your house, it's too late. Sergeant Scott Singer with the Moore Police Department.
Never open your door to pass a phone through to someone else. Just dial the number and call yourself.
It's better to be rude than to be a victim, and these home invasion artists can be crafty.
You don't know who you're dealing with. If they look harmless, if they have a child, if they look in pretty dire straits, you still don't know who you're dealing with, and in many times the first approach somebody will take is by con.
And Singer says if they need help, call 911 for them.
And any time that you do call 911, don't hang up that phone. Keep the phone line open, because whether you're talking to them or not, they can hear you.
You know, we had a home invasion just a couple of weeks ago where they used a child to win the person's confidence and get into the house. The simple truth is once they're inside, it is too late. Give them what they want, but the best advice, install a peephole and talk through the door. Don't open it until you're sure there's no chance they're going to harm you.
I think, yeah, total surprise, actually, that it was true.
BBC producers Rebecca Lewis and Jonathan Gilley are researching the legend of Elmer McCurdy, a bumbling train robber shot by an Osage County posse in 1911.
That it's enormously more complicated and detailed and interesting than one could possibly have imagined.
A mortician doused McCurdy's corpse with arsenic and effectively mummified the body. That was the beginning of Elmer's odyssey.
Sometime he was sold to a carnival, the carnival sold him to a circus, the circus to a sideshow, and eventually somebody sold him to a wax museum in California.
All those years, it seems, everyone thought Elmer was a dummy, like this one, and never suspected that he was actually a mummified human corpse.
By 1976, Elmer was a prop at this Los Angeles funhouse. Someone figured out that the by now waxed and painted dummy was actually a cadaver. In time, Elmer McCurdy's body was returned to Oklahoma and buried with much pomp in Guthrie's Boot Hill. Elmer's story, meanwhile, was circulating.
Well, I was at a party and a man, actually an American cartoonist called Ted Dewan, told me about the story. And I thought, well, is it true or isn't it true? And I thought it would be worth finding out, because if it is true, it's such an extraordinary story.
McCurdy's fame has spread, but his journey is over.
When they finished burying Elmer that day, the DeLisi truck pulled up, and I think they buried him with about 5 yards of concrete. I don't think he's going to be doing any more traveling again.
Rest in peace, Elmer. Gan Matthews, News 9.
While tourists are lured up Highway 81 to get to the glitzy Lucky Star Casino, few visitors ever realize there's a historic village tucked away behind it. Along a little-traveled tree-lined road, you'll find Concho. For some, it's a gateway to a better life, where generations of the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes have raised and educated their children. It's a place where the streets are called Left Hand and Red Moon, a place where horses and buffalo have roamed for more than a century, a place where the culture of the great ancestor is preserved, unlocking secrets and wisdom gained over hundreds of years.
And Concho is always referred to as a place that is special to us, because a lot of our government transactions were made here by our forefathers.
Concho goes way back to the days when this whole state was Indian territory, and some of it has weathered over time. You know, a lot of old Concho is actually aging quite a bit, but one story that will never get old, at least around here, is a story about how old Concho got its name. You see, they named this place after an old Indian agent with the last name of Shell. Now, ironically, both the Cheyenne and the Arapaho tribes regarded this as sacred. In fact, they traded these as money, and back in those days, what I'm holding might have been regarded as big-time currency. Now, the tribes around these parts used a Spanish word to describe this stuff, and that word is concho. Now, as you drive the main road into Concho, one of the most amazing, very mysterious things you'll ever see is a piece of religious spiritual ground the Cheyennes use. In fact, it's one of the last ones of its kind. It's just on the other side of this tree line. Yep, but see, the Cheyenne tribe has asked us not to show it to you. You see, it's so mysterious and religious for them and exclusive to them, and they'd like to keep it that way. For those who live here, all of Concho will always be a spiritual place of peace where the spirit of their ancestors lives on. In Concho, Gary Horker, News 9.